If you watch the channel, you probably know that a while back, well, a couple of years ago, I did a video where I installed a propane / electric generator for coming storms. We live in hurricane territory here on the southeastern coast of North Carolina. So you can check out that video if you're interested in putting a interlock switch on a breaker. In other words, you want to make it so that you cannot turn a breaker on to a device or an appliance until you turn your main power off. In this case, you'd be turning on a breaker that backfeeds your panel from your generator. But when you use this switch on your breaker panel, you need to turn your main off to be able to open the generator switch. Well, today I had a need to block a light switch, and that light switch is in my camp at the beach. It's a little place. It's a little camper that I rent out, and some of these campers have water heaters that can be turned on and off seasonally, or when the camper is not in use, and that switch is in the kitchen. And we have renters that get confused, and they'll turn that water heater switch off, and then they don't have hot water. So we tell everybody not to, we make them aware of that. But what would be a much simpler solution and backup is a switch block. So what I've done is I have created a switch block. This morning I got onto this project, and I went out into my shed. Used to have a lot more junk. I used to save a lot more scrap material when I was at the farm and I had a lot of room. But here I don't have as much. But luckily, in my junk that I do have, I found a rigid piece of white plastic, which I took to the vise and cut quickly and easily into a little rigid switch block. Yes, it already had holes in it. Now I'm going to demonstrate for you how to quickly block a switch. And if you have any white rigid plastic laying around, you can easily do this. Now let me show that to you. Can you see that? I really don't even know it was a large piece of plastic in an L shape. I don't know what it was from. So what I'm doing is I'm taking the bottom screw out from my switch plate. I'm going to block this switch to demonstrate. Right? And this is the same kind of switch that I have at the camp. And I'm going to position this piece of rigid plastic up under the switch, and you literally cannot turn this switch off. Okay, let's get a detailed look at what I've done here. So I've utilized the screw from the switch plate, and actually I need to push that in a little more. I will counterset that just to make it look attractive. But utilizing that screw from the switch plate, I've screwed my little switch block into this position. Now, this pretty much it won't keep people from turning this switch off if they really want to, but it will serve as a reminder. It will give people notice that this shouldn't be turned off, right? But if you then want to turn it off, you would simply move that switch block out of the way, and then you can turn your light or your fixture off, right? And if you're doing this to keep, say, small children from turning a switch off, or invalid people who don't know what switches should be on or off, you can put a dab of super glue under there, can't you? And just lock that into place. You can always buy a new switch plate cover if you need, but you can block that into place, and it will be perfect. See? Now, if you're really crafty, you can take your Dremel and take an extra switch plate. I think you can buy these for 50 cents a piece. If you can't find a piece of plastic and you have a switch plate in stock, I always have a few of these laying around in my electrical gear. You just cut yourself a little block out of this, can't you? It might not be as rigid as this, but it will certainly match. Okay? So in just a couple of seconds, I've blocked that switch. Now you can buy these online. Great minds think alike, and yes, somebody manufactures this, I found out. So you can buy one online, or you can find yourself a rigid piece of white plastic, or depending on the color of your switch plate, and do it yourself. All right, I hope that helps you with your project today, and I thank you as always for watching. Be sure to give us a thumbs up and subscribe to the Exoman channel. Take care, everyone.